Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. Spring is almost here. We've got some sunshine going. Sometimes you can hear the frogs going. And now we're starting to think about spring planting, early crop planting, roots, root vegetables, that type of thing. And the first thing that I think of when I think March is potatoes. So this whole video will be about growing potatoes, planting potatoes, keeping potatoes, that type of thing. This is a gardening 101 video. So if you know zip about potatoes, this is for you. And I am by no means a professional. So of course there's going to be things that I don't know that I would love for you guys to share with me. And if you can think of anything, just drop it in the comments below and we'll talk about it more. When I think about planting potatoes, I always think about planting them on St. Patrick's Day. That's what my pap has always taught me to do. So that's what I always do. I try to avoid any rainy days right around then, but the first real good dry day I have around St. Patrick's Day is when I typically put my potatoes in the ground. Now the almanac is saying this year the best time to plant your root vegetables in March is between the 11th and the 14th. That might be a couple of days early or a week early. So you just kind of want to watch the weather and make sure it's not downpouring anytime right before or right after you want to plant them. So the first thing you need to consider is where are you going to get your potato seeds? What are you going to put in the ground? So potatoes don't come in a seed, like a little tiny seed packet. Like you can't just go to Walmart and buy the little packets. They actually come, if you're starting out fresh, from a bag in like a feed supply store. I don't know that I've ever seen them at Walmart, but you can get them like at Tractor Supply, Rural King. I tend to get a lot of my things at Pete Keys. Or with potatoes, you can actually save your leftover like potatoes you don't actually want to eat and use them to grow their eyes. So their eye of the potatoes, they're little green sprouts. If you buy a bag of potatoes from like the grocery store, they'll have little teeny tiny eyes on that you typically just like trim off whenever you cook. Those potatoes don't often develop their eyes. Like if you just buy a bag of those and set them out and leave them to sit, most often their eyes are not going to grow out like this. I don't know if they've been sprayed with something or what to make them not develop. But anyway, so if you're starting out, go to Pete Keys, go to Tractor Supply, buy a bag of potatoes. This is the second time you have done it. Save back the potatoes that you don't want to use to eat, or just gather what doesn't get used up the previous year and let them come to an eye. Meaning just let them sit and they will literally do this. It's zero work. This show off. I mean, my gosh. Look how deep you'd have to bury this one. The thing you need to know about potatoes is that they grow best in very loose, well-drained soil. They will obviously want to hold on to their water, but they don't want it to be too wet or they'll actually rot in the ground. So before you start tilling up, make sure that the ground is decently dry and doesn't retain water. So when you're ready to plant your potatoes, obviously you're going to till your ground and dig a hole. I typically just will till my ground and run my hoe up through the line just to make a little trench. And you're going to want to cut these eyes off in pieces. How'd you put your ball down in there if you can't get it? Get your ball. Okay, thank you. Now go on. Okay, so with the potato, the day before planting, at least, if not a couple of days before, you're going to want to go ahead and part up your one potato. This potato will probably give me approximately 3 seeds or 3 plants. What I would like to do is, let me see if I can do this while holding the camera. I'd probably cut the potato in half and then probably section off this area to where you have at least 1, if not 2 or 3 eyes on each piece. And then you're going to let those sit overnight at least to develop a film on the inner part of the potato so that they don't continue to rot in the ground. That is kind of like a protective layering. When you do plant them, the next day or a couple days later, plant eyes to the sky, meaning when you stick this in the ground, put that part up. And then you're going to continue to mound those up and over them. About the first week or two, I typically try to get out there every couple of days and mound up some fresh, loose soil up and over any greenery that is poked through. I try to keep up and do that as often as I can until it just becomes very difficult to keep that mound. And then you'll know, just, you know what, I'm going to let it go and keep the weeds down as much as possible instead of continuing to try and mound. I like to harvest somewhere between September and October. Once the potato greenery starts to dry up and kind of turn brown, then you know your potatoes are It's time to harvest. My granddad always just takes a single plow back through his garden and literally just unearths them. But since we just sold our tractor last year, we aren't going to be able to do that. Last fall, we just took the bucket of the Bobcat and literally just like used it like a massive shovel and dug it up and shook it out and dropped all the potatoes out. Now, if you obviously don't have access to a Bobcat or a tractor, the easiest way to do it would be to get like a pitchfork or a shovel. Pitchfork would probably be your best choice, just to scoop up some of the dirt, shake it out, and allow the potatoes to fall out. The day that you take your potatoes out of the ground, you're going to want to let them sit in the sun for a little while to dry off. You want all of that wet soil that's caked around the potato to kind of dry, to where you can just kind of dust some of that off. But as soon as they are dry, make sure you remove them from the sun. You don't want your potatoes to become sunburnt. That will cause them to turn green, and a green potato skin is actually toxic to humans. Once you are dried and ready to store, you have a couple of options. One option, of course, is canning the potatoes. I did this last year. Wasn't a big fan. It was a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it did not actually turn out well for me. But I do know a lot of people have a lot of success for it, so you might want to read up and see if that's something you want to try this fall. Another option, which is actually what I'm going to be doing this year, is storing them somewhere where it's about 40 to 50 degrees and fairly moist in the air. So we're actually going to use our external garage that we're building as we speak. Luckily. Literally keeps putting his ball in my bucket of potatoes. Like I have time to throw the ball right now. But anyway, that's potatoes in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, that was kind of straightforward. I think pretty simple. If you've got the space, put them in the ground. If you don't have the space, talk to me about container gardening for potatoes. I have never done that. I have a few friends that are going to try that this year. I may try it just to see if it works, but since we actually have plenty of space for the in-ground garden, I'll probably just go ahead and put them in the dirt. Say bye, everybody. Abby, Buckley. So comment down below and let me know if you guys have any questions, or maybe a comment if you do something differently. That's what I love about doing all of this, is learning from everyone else and seeing how everybody else does things and making adjustments for the way I do things in the future.